Red Lawrence Bishnoi ordered drugs from Pakistan. Yesterday, Gujarat Police took transit remand of Red Gangster Lawrence Bishnoi from Bhatinda and is supposed to be taken and presented before a court in Ahmedabad over the next few days. Remember, this case pertains to drugs that were smuggled from Pakistan all the way to India. In September 2022, that is last year, Gujarat Police, in a joint operation that was carried out by the Gujarat Police and the Gujarat ATS, a boat was seized by the Gujarat ATS inside the India waters. And in that boat, along with 6 people who were arrested, there was high-grade heroin, approximately 40 kilos in weight, which in international market, the worth of that drug was somewhere around 195 crores. Now, in the sustained interrogation that happened of the 6 people that were taken into custody, it came out that one Abdullah, who is a resident of Balochistan, had sent these drugs to be delivered to the gang members of Lawrence Bishnoi out here in India for further distribution. Now, since this case has come to the fore, the Gujarat Police had imposed sections of the NDPS Act against Lawrence Bishnoi. But now, since the amount of the drug was so much, and after interrogation it came out that it actually came from Pakistan and it was supposed to be given in India, and probably that money was supposed to be used in terror funding as well, and hence sections of the UAPA Act has also been imposed against Lawrence Bishnoi. Lawrence Bishnoi has now been taken from Bhatinda in a flight all the way to Gujarat, where he will be presented in front of the Ahmedabad court in the next few days, is what we have been told at this point in time. Now remember, Lawrence Bishnoi is not the only person who has been involved. In fact, this is not the only case that has come up against Lawrence Bishnoi, but several other cases has also been put up against Lawrence Bishnoi in several parts of the country as well, ranging from murder to extortion to supply of illegal weapons and also now supplying of drugs. This entire case seems to have increased the problems of Lawrence Bishnoi, who is already under much trouble after the case of Sidhu Moosewala, where Sidhu Moosewala was killed in broad daylight by the gang members of Lawrence Bishnoi. And in fact, Lawrence Bishnoi has come on record and actually accepted the fact that he was the person who gave those orders for the execution of famous singer and songwriter Sidhu Moosewala as well. But talking about the case that has come to the fore in this matter, for which the Gujarat Police has taken custody of Lawrence Bishnoi, this is going to increase the troubles of Lawrence Bishnoi, who is still in the jail over the last 1 decade at least. Over the next few days, what we are expecting that the Gujarat Police will present Lawrence Bishnoi in front of the Ahmedabad court, where further custody of Lawrence Bishnoi will be taken, so that the facts in this case, if at all Bishnoi was involved in smuggling of drugs from Pakistan to India, and if at all he had any idea that the money that he was giving to that Abdullah, who was the person who had transported these drugs from Pakistan to all the way to India, was this money being used in terror funding as well? Because remember, over the past 1 year itself, we have seen that how the National Investigating Agency, that is the NIA, is already probing this entire case of a gangster and terror nexus that has come out from Punjab itself. Now, this case that has been registered against Lawrence Bishnoi, this is yet again going to expose many layers of how these gangsters who have been working out of Punjab and especially in North India are involved in terror funding as well, because the kind of money that they pay to smugglers who come all the way from Pakistan to supply drugs or to supply weapons, this money is eventually used for terror funding, and those terrorists are eventually used against India to carry out a terrorist attack in India, especially in places of Jammu Kashmir and other parts of North India as well. Now, what remains to be seen, if at all the Gujarat court will deem it necessary to give the required custody to the Gujarat Police and Gujarat ATS, so that this entire case could be solved, and the layers in this case that actually pertains to how this money is being given and this money is being laundered to make sure that terrorists are provided with guns, weapons and other things and other amenities, so that they could actually go ahead and carry out attacks in India. That is something that remains to be seen, and that is something that will eventually come out once the investigation happens. But yes, at this point, since Lawrence Bishnoi has now been taken into custody by the Gujarat Police, it remains to be seen if at all the other police officials, the police of other states who are also in lieu of getting custody of Lawrence Bishnoi, because remember, Lawrence Bishnoi is now a national gangster. There are cases that have been registered against him not only in Gujarat but also in places of Punjab, the national capital, that is New Delhi itself, and also in parts of UP as well. So Lawrence Bishnoi is slowly becoming a national gangster, where he has done crime in almost all these states, and all these police and all the administration is looking to get hold of Lawrence Bishnoi, take custody of Lawrence Bishnoi so that their cases could actually be investigated. The investigation in those cases could go forward. But today, the Gujarat police has gotten the custody, and over the next few days, Lawrence Bishnoi is likely to stay in Gujarat, where his interrogation and investigation is going to continue, where many shocking details are going to come to the fore over the next few days. Lawrence Bishnoi, who has been in the news over the past 1 year, especially after the killing of Sidhu Moosewala, continues to remain in news as more and more cases are being registered against him in several parts of the country, and more investigations are opening up against Lawrence Bishnoi.